Welcome to Kodesh Intentions. Thank you for being here, guys. Today we're continuing our study of the Imitation of Christ. Last week we spoke of the difference between absolute truth and subjective truth, as well as seeking love and a relationship with the Father over seeking theoretical knowledge, or knowledge in general. So let's continue our study. A good and devout man arranges in his mind the things he has to do, not according to the whims of evil inclination, but according to the dictates of right reason. Who is forced to struggle more than he who tries to master himself? This ought to be our purpose, then, to conquer self, to become stronger each day, to advance in virtue. Guys, self-mastery is one of the chiefest aims you can have in life. Mastering yourself and mastering your flesh, mastering the evil inclinations, the flesh that wars against the spirit. It is something that can take a lifetime. And you may master a single thing once a year. You may take you all year to master it, but once that's mastered, once your mastery over lust, for example, is achieved, it will remain. You will have totally conquered that area of your life. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need to be vigilant. Of course you need to be vigilant. But it won't be a struggle. It won't be a war anymore. Every perfection in this life has some imperfection mixed with it, and no learning of ours is without some darkness. Humble knowledge of self is a surer path to God than the ardent pursuit of learning. Not that learning is to be considered evil or knowledge, which is good in itself and so ordained by God, but a clean conscience and virtuous life ought always to be preferred. Again, we're touching on that idea that a clean conscience, a right relationship with God, is to be preferred over absolute theoretical knowledge or absolute historical knowledge of Scripture, over those things that you know but don't implement. Remember, faith without works is dead. You can know the book front to back, but if it doesn't change your heart, if you don't have the works that go with it, your faith is dead. Many often err and accomplish little or nothing because they try to become learned rather than to live well. If men used as much care in uprooting vices and implanting virtues as they do in discussing problems, there would not be so much evil and scandal in the world, or such laxity in religious organizations. On the day of judgment, surely we shall not be asked what we have read, but what we have done. Not how well we have spoken, but how well we have lived. Your actions must follow your words. Faith without works is dead. You can know how to preach and not live a righteous life. You can know who killed who saved who, what happened in the Scriptures, and not live a righteous life. But a righteous life is so much more important than that book knowledge. Tell me, where now are all the masters and teachers whom you knew so well in life and who were famous for their learning? Others have already taken their places, and I know not whether they ever think of their predecessors. During life they seemed to me nothing. Now they are seldom remembered. How quickly the glory of the world passes away. If only their lives had kept pace with their learning, then their study and reading would have been worthwhile. Because you can be an excellent scholar. You can write books, and those can change lives. But what's going to happen when they look at your actions? Do you want to be remembered as someone who knew a lot of things? Or someone who truly followed Yah, whose heart sought after him? Do you want to be remembered as a man after Yah's own heart? I know I do. How many there are who perish because of vain worldly knowledge and too little care for serving God? They became vain in their own conceits because they chose to be great rather than to be humble. He is truly great who has great charity. He is truly great who is little in his own eyes and makes nothing of the highest honor. He is truly wise who looks upon all earthly things as folly that he may gain Christ. He who does God's will and renounces his own is truly very learned. My friends, don't seek to be remembered as great. Seek only to serve Yah. Seek only to seek after his will. It's not many men who we remember as great that did their actions because they wanted to be remembered as great. They did what they had to do within the times they lived because they believed it was right. And what's right here, what's right in your life is seeking the will of Yah and seeking to follow his will over your own. That's what's right.